Hey everybody, Joe here, and I wanted to give you a sneak peek. If you're on the ropes on kind of the Weaver Space Summit and wondering what is it's all about, what types of talks are going to be there, I wanted to produce some highlight reels essentially of some really great videos that have been the favorites of users over the years. So in this video, I have 3 videos that, man, it was really hard to pick out, shrink an hour-long talk down to, 5 minutes or 6 minutes. So I hope you enjoy these videos. There's 3 here, and you're going to get a lot out of these amazing videos. And I can't wait to see you at the summit this year. Bye.
So a lot of people get frustrated a lot of the time because they think, well, my website isn't really doing the work I wanted it to do. But don't panic, because there's some really simple and straightforward things that you can do to get more of the people who visit your site, more of the people you really want to work with to become loving, loyal customers. So here's some main reasons why your website is probably not converting or converting as well as you want it to and need it to. Your message is unclear. It's just not really, it's kind of vague, or it's filled with all sorts of language that people don't fully understand. It's not really clear who it's talking to. The other reason is you don't establish yourself as a solid, trustworthy expert. You talk about yourself, but not really what you've done for other people. So those testimonials, you also talk too much about yourself. You state everything about your state-of-the-art gym or where you work or how cool the tools are that you use, but people don't get a sense of what's in it for them, what will help them achieve the goals they're trying to achieve, or help them with any kind of problem they have. So I always tell my clients, you need to channel your inner Obi-Wan Kenobi and be what he was to Luke Skywalker to your people. And here's the trick. You don't want to talk about yourself. First, you have to have a clear core message. State what you do, who you are, what you do, who your ideal customers are, what you do for them, the greatest results that you achieve for them, and if possible, state any kind of pain they avoid by going with you. If possible, you need to have a 3-step process for people to achieve their goals with you, or mention 3 of your best and most effective products, your core products, okay? You want to establish yourself as the expert, the guide they need. So don't talk about yourself. That's the trick. You want to state what you've done for people like the visitors on your site. Say, I've helped people lose weight. I've helped people make more money. I've helped people become the go-to expert in their field because their website is just awesome, okay? I've helped people see better with better reading glasses, and so on and so on. You want to offer a kick-ass freebie or a highly discounted offer, and always get people's email addresses. This is so important because as you build your list, again, those are the people who are easiest to sell to, okay? You want to have an unforgettable about page. People want to work with people who are passionate about what they do. They want to work with people who are experts. They want to work with people who are caring and really committed to their mission. So make your about page as outstanding as you possibly can. Have really good pictures on there, and don't be afraid to share personal information. Don't share private stuff. But, you can share things like your hobbies, or if you're married with kids, or what you like to do on the weekends, or what kind of volunteer work you do. Those things resonate with people, and they create connection.
But today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about freelancing and with a subscription-based model, and basically how to reduce the number of customers that you have and make more money. And marketing companies that were doing a little bit of web development, but charging about $3,000 per project, and freelancers that were mostly working as a side hustle, charging anywhere between $500 and $1,000 a project. So I needed to separate myself from my competitors, and I didn't want to be so cheap that I couldn't grow my business. And I decided that both options were bad, so I made up my own option. I decided that I was going to be the most expensive web developer in my market, and I charged anywhere from about $3,500 to $4,000 per typical project, but I wanted to give the best service. So I included 12 months of updating the site for free. This meant that marketing companies, they couldn't compete with me because nobody wanted to update the website. And because of my price, I didn't compete with those guys that were doing it as a side hustle. At the end of my first year, I set up a goal that within a couple of years, I would bring in $70,000 per year. I thought it was a pretty modest goal. I thought that I could hit it. And at the time, I didn't really do the math, but that equates to 20 projects per year at $3,500 each. So, and that was about my average price. So when I do the math, I would have to find, sell, design, and build a project about every 2.5 weeks. And again, at this point, I figured people would redevelop that site over and over again every couple of years. So on a typical size that customers would only redevelop their site about every 6 years, it meant that I could never stop hunting for new customers. I started looking at the value of each client and determined that if I sold a project at $3,500 and I ran updates for about $500 or so a year per customer, that customer was only worth about $92 a month. Yeah, that's what I look like. So my focus when I sold traditional website services was always on the next customer. It was always trying to maintain cash flow and keep a steady backlog was always one of my highest priorities. I came to the conclusion that if I gave people 100% of my expertise and focus on helping other people grow their business, my business would grow. If you think about it in these terms, having a website rebuilt is simply transactional. Anyone can do it. Customers can go on Wix or Squarespace, and you can have one set up today. But becoming a trusted partner that helps their customers actually grow their business would be transformational, not only for their business, but for mine as well. And people would pay more for that than just having a website rebuilt. Now it seems like my customer and my goals are now completely aligned. So the first step was to write out my mission statement and change the direction of my company, how I approached the market, positioned ourselves, and set up the building blocks for success. One of the things that I did, I started quoting everything that was local, small business on a monthly price. And a click rate is about 2%. So email marketing is far from being dead. The resurrection of email marketing has been contributed to rich HTML emails. This is an email that we created for one of our customers using Joe Workman's email stacks. Super simple to do, easy to be able to have add-on products that you can sell to your customer.
Hold up, Fudge Records uses my emails? What?
Yes, they do, brother. So this is a sample report. It's 2%. Think about this. The average engagement rate on social media is 2%, and the average click rate on email marketing is 2%. I know, right? Just like what we do with email marketing, we give a high-level single-page report on their social media. It highlights what we've done. It shows their engagement rate because it is important, but it's not the main driver to be there. It's not the reason that we're there. And then because a lot of business owners don't understand social media, you need to remind your customer to stay the course by giving easy to follow reports that highlight the important aspects of a campaign. Fast forward a few years and subscription-based modeling, at least in my market, is starting to gain momentum. Subscription-based services are operating expenses and not capital expense. So that means that that expense is never going away. I see other developers charging anywhere from $200 to $700 per month for subscription-based website services. So there's a wide range of product offering as well, but there's also a wide range of pricing. It's perfect for somebody to find their niche and create a product or service to be able to jump into a market with a subscription-based website. And if you compared $200 a month and $3,500 per project with rebuilds being done every 6 years, in order for that traditional customer to be at the same value as a subscription customer, you would have to charge $2,000 per year in updates between year 2 and year 5. And remember, that comparison is on the low end of the subscription-based model and the high end for a basic traditional website. And even at those prices, the subscription-based model customer is valued at more than double that of a traditional customer. A few different ways to structure this. And escalated pricing, like I said, I think is the best way. And it signals to that customer that costs do increase over time and that you expect to continue to show value to their business year after year. Set limits on updates though. In my contract, I state 1 update per month, no more than 1 hour of time. And when it's time to move on and retire, your web development business actually has value. No one is going to buy a book of business with customers that have already paid for services that they've already received.
Especially with your mindset of turning your web design business into an asset, right?
Right.
So that it's a business that's now sellable. It's not. I mean, that is such a brilliant point. Where instead of just a list of people that might renew or might give you some hours, or might want to do a website redesign in 4 years. I mean, yeah, dude, that is a brilliant. I had never thought of it that way. Even though while I thought this business model was great, I never thought of it in that respect. And I love that. Good job on that.
That was my friend that's in the insurance industry. And what they typically do is, like, when they're done or they move on, is that they go and they package up those customers and they sell those customers, but those customers are paying every month. And he was telling me, like, Eric, you got to find some way to build a residual income in your business. And he was kind of the first one that kind of got me started thinking about that. And so the very first step that we did was we started selling hosting. And so I kind of thought, okay, this is residual, right? But we're making 10, 20 bucks a month on a customer selling hosting. We're not getting rich there. And so barely covering the bills. And so I started thinking out a little bit more, and that was kind of the first seed that was planted in my mind in order to kind of transition away from doing a traditional website. And
this client that doesn't only want control over the content of the website, she always, such as text, images, she also wants a lot of flexibility in the page layout. Let's move to the admin area. So we're going to talk about these bar up here, the menu bar, the admin menu bar, in a second. Let's now focus in the grid options we have. So this is the Spanish. Those are the controls we have over grid 1. So the first one is what we use to get control over triggering on or off that specific grid that we were just looking at before. So we have the toggle that controls if that grid is on or off. We have this is a normal total CMS text that to control the title, and these are the images that were shown in the right part of the screen. Let's just take one off just for fun, see what happens. Then we have the control over the text area below the grid. In this case, as you were saying before, the text area is active. And here is the control that let you choose if you want text or a video inside that area. This is the text. It was shown in that specific area. And this is the link of the video in case you want the video. Okay. Let's move to the button area right down here. So here you can choose if the button you want to show up is going to follow a link. So let's say we want a link or trigger a pop-up. Well, let's stick with the URL button for now. This is the cares. And I'm sure you'll ask, what is going to be inside that pop-up? Well, here is the content of that pop-up. This is site again. And here is our button. Now it doesn't follow a URL. If I click on it, it will just trigger a pop-up. And here it is, just of the home page. You know, there are other pages inside the website that follow the same structure. Let me move this around, okay. And so let's now play a little bit with the different grids. Let's activate. Well, let's look at the structure of the grids. So this is grid number 1. There are small icons up here that kind of describe the structure of every grid. So this is grid number 1, as you can see, that with a big title on the left and 4 squares. Grid number 2 is exactly the opposite, title on the right and squares on the left. This is number 3 with a big square in the middle. The same structure repeats itself from grid 4 through grid 6. Then we have a small variation in grid number 7, 8, and 9 is the same as grid number 6 and 3. Then we have some quotes section. We have some blog section at the bottom of the website, and then some pop-up that can trigger like news or stuff. So let's start from grid number 2. Let's turn on grid number 2. Let's go grid number 3 too. Why not? Let's turn this on. And those will repeat itself. So let's not touch 4, 5, 6. Let's go 7. Let's turn on grid number 7, grid number 8, and let's turn on the quotes too. Why not? I pre-filled all those fields, so we have we don't lose time on it. Let's just save. So here's our grid number 1. We didn't change anything. Here it is, our text section with our button pop-up. Here we can find grid number 2 without the text area because we didn't turn that on. This is grid number 3 with the same structure without the text area. This is grid number 7. This is grid number 8. And this is the nice quote section at the bottom. And then, of course, we have our footer. So you see the flexibility we gave to the client. And it doesn't matter what she does. For the structure this website has, it will always look good. Even if she has the website of Claudia Guerrero, which is an actress, a yoga teacher, a coach, you know, she does a lot of things. She's very active. And the usage of total CMS that we did in this website, and once again, that I use a lot, it has a calendar. So let's go straight to the calendar page. So this is the calendar page. In general, let's talk in general about artists and their calendar. There are different options to show the events a specific artist is involved with. I saw a lot of time it's used like a big sort of Google calendar, you know, that I wouldn't suggest that unless you are an extremely active artist. You know, it always, you know, it always looks empty because you have this big thing and just a few dates in a month are full of course you do not list rehearsals and stuff. So, you know, at the end of the day, it always looks empty. There are other problems. You never get a feel of what that specific event is. So my go-to option is always this list layout. I mean, this website is still on development, but I mean, you get the idea of what this is. And